Senator Durbin, you've been very patient. Thank you.
As the designated male senator, I noticed at one point it was 7-1, 8-1, and I saw Senator Collins smiling. It's exactly the way you like it. It's an honor to be here and to participate in this, and I'd like to mention a few things. About 10 years ago, I went out to NIH and I met with Dr. Francis Collins, who I consider to be an American hero for all his leadership at that agency. And I said, what can I do to help? And he said, what we can do is make sure that every year we have a steady increase in research funds for so many different diseases. If you can give me 5% real growth every single year, we'll light up the scoreboard with all sorts of things that are going to make life better for young people who are here and for other people. So I came back here to the Senate and the Appropriations Committee, which I've served on for a few years, and I enlisted the help of a number of people. My friend Patty Murray, who was here earlier, as well as Roy Blunt, who was a Republican senator from Missouri, who chaired the committee, Senator Collins, who was part of it, Lamar Alexander, a Republican from Tennessee, and we managed to, over the span of 10 years, increase NIH funding from $30 billion to $48 billion, just steady increases, for $18 billion over 10 years. And good things started being reported. Now, that's the good news. Now, the bad news. President Trump's budget for this next year eliminates all of the increase that we put in. It goes back to $30 billion, where we were 10 years ago. And that means we're walking away from research opportunities that can lead to cures and can lead to an improvement in lives across the United States and around the world. And here's the good news. You're looking at the first line of defense to make sure that doesn't happen. People who are gathered here, the senators, have the ultimate decision as to how much money is going into medical research for diabetes and for other purposes. So we need you to help us by encouraging our colleagues to join us in the struggle to stop the president's budget and to put in place a real investment that will make a difference. The second point that I want to make is one that is somewhat personal. Well, one of the justices on the Supreme Court is Sonia Sotomayor. Some of you have heard of her. T1D, type 1 diabetes since age 7. She's a fan of baseball, Yankees fan. She said to me, I'd like to go to a game in Wrigley Field and watch the Cubs play the Yankees. So I took her and a couple friends to the game several years ago, and she was testing herself during the whole game, but didn't stop her 1 second. The point I want to make is the highest level in the U.S. of courts and justice is the Supreme Court, and there is a woman in that position who since age 7 has been dealing with type 1 diabetes. She's a great asset to our country, as you will all be. The last point I want to make that I think is very important is that we've had an impact already. Decisions have been made in terms of funding agencies. And Dr. Rogers, can you tell me how many NIDDK employees have left because they were fired, placed on administrative leave, or accepted a buyout since the beginning of this year?
Thank you, Senator, for the question, and thanks for what you said prior to that direct question about the role of the Senate in terms of the budget. We appreciate those increases, and as my boss, Dr. Bhattacharya, mentioned at this hearing, the president's budget does recognize a cut, but this is really the beginning, as he said, of a close negotiation and discussion with members on the final budget. With respect to the number of workforce, some of the reductions were intended to centralize some of NIH's administrative function. I can't give you a precise number because retirements continue. But we're doing the best with the numbers that we have to try to make sure we're as efficient as possible, getting funding out to our investigators and making sure that the success that we've made so far don't take a back step.
Can you tell me how many NIDDK grants have been suspended or terminated this year?
Well, in terms of overall terminations, I really, again, can't comment on the specifics of that because, as you're aware, some of these terminations are currently involved in appeals and litigation. I'd have to get back with you on that, but I think, you know, and in fact, some of these efforts are are government-wide, so they are well beyond what NIH can control.
Doctor, I don't want to put you on the spot. You're a friend and an ally, and we've worked together over many years. So I'm going to set this line of questioning. But to the audience, I want to make it clear. There have been dramatic cuts made in grants, some related to type 1 diabetes, and there have been termination of people working in this agency who have critical expertise for the future. If we're going to stop this, we've got to stand together, both political parties, and say that's the end of it. Research is part of making America great. Thank you very much.
Thank you,